Okay guys, I have a quick way of putting this pattern together. My thought is if you have an existing tube dress like this one, Tazaya has an existing tube dress. One quick way of putting that tube dress together, a pattern, let me show you here. What I would have you to do is get some paper, pretty much like this roll paper that I have. I actually have roll paper. This is for artwork, or it can be for pattern making. If you do not have roll paper, you can use a paper bag like this one. You just want to open up your paper bag and you want to flatten that paper bag out. However, I am not going to use a paper bag. I am going to use this paper. But just for the sake of you, I think I'll just open up this bag for you here. And we can use this bag. You can use a paper bag. I would just simply take and cut that paper bag like this. I'm just going to tear it. It seems to be tearing pretty good in that crease. Okay, and voila, you're going to have enough to make that dress. And I like the white paper bag because you're able to see your markings a lot better on white paper than the brown paper bag. So I would suggest a paper bag if you don't have the paper that I have here. You can use like a paper bag. So anyway, with that tube dress, just take and fold your tube dress right in half, just like I have that. This is the back right here of the tube dress. So I'm folding it right in half, and I am going to lay it on the edge of that paper. So again, to reiterate, I have the tube dress folded, and I am going to lay it right down on my paper, and I am going to pretend that this is the fold of my paper, just like the fold of this dress, okay? And then I'm at the very edge of the paper. I'm laying the fold of the dress on top of the edge of the paper, as you can see here. So now what I'm going to do, first of all, I probably should tell you what you're going to need. You're going to need either a pencil or another pencil. This is like a one that's got color to it, and I'm just doing the color pencil for it so that you can see the marking. And then you're also may need a ruler, and you're definitely going to need scissors. So, and your paper, of course. So what I need you to do is take and mark now. You just want to mark around. We're just going to trace right around this dress from the bottom to the top. You just want to kind of trace it, and then you're going to lift that dress up, and wherever that seam is, you want to stop at that seam right there. So you're going to mark on the other side. You just want to make sure that seam, you keep that seam at the edge where you're going to mark. See how I'm doing it? And make sure you're not trying to pull it. You don't want to pull it at all. So we should get a nice figure here, almost like a figure 8. So once we get done, but you see how I'm lifting that other side of the dress back over, and I'm catching that seam, and I want to mark right there at the end of that seam, all the way back to the top, back around all the way. So now I have a nice mark, as you can see here, and I'm just going to line up my marks. Now I need you to see what I'm doing, the actual marks. So what I'm going to do, I can see my marks, so you will be able to see your marks also when you're marking or tracing. However, I want you to see the marking. So I have chose to use a fine magic marker to kind of where you are able to see where I have marked my dress. So I'm just going to kind of trace just like you do in school, when you connect the dots, I'm going to kind of connect these dots, and I'm going to use a ruler to kind of guide me through connecting the dots. So this is going to be my seam. As you can see, I can see the dots, but you probably can't on the screen. I'm hoping that you can. And I'm just kind of connecting them so that you can see the pattern that you're going to need it to be. Now this is going to be the fold, so I'm just going to kind of do something like this, just showing that this is the fold. This is where you place your, on the fold, it's right along here. So this is basically the pattern piece. Now I would like for this to have at least 2 inches at the top so I can fold it. So I'm going to go 2 inches at the top, and I'm going to do the same at the bottom of this for this dress. Now I take it that this dress fits perfectly onto Zaya. So you can still use the measurements just to make sure. However, this dress is a dress that she normally wears and she loves, and that's what we're doing a pattern on. So anyway, that is the up at the top. I have added 2 inches at the top, and I have added 2 inches at the bottom. And that is for your turnover here and there for the Okay, so we have made our back pattern piece. I have marked it back pattern piece so you'll know the difference. You might want to mark yours also. Now let's work on the front. Now, as you can see, the front is has a round kind of a curve, and it's a little bit higher up. So that's why we want to kind of do it, have 2 different pattern pieces on this dress. So I do not like to use the magic marker at the moment, not when the dress is on there. So anyway, there again, I'm going to trace. I have it laying on the fold, and this is the front piece. It is laying on the fold. So you need to lay it, your front, on the fold. And now you just want to trace around. You want to also turn it over. Let's move that out the way. Turn it, fold that side, the back side over on top of the front, and then you want to find that seam, lay that seam nice and flat like I'm doing, just kind of pressing it down so that it's flat, trying your best not to move your garment, your dress. So you want that dress to stay right flat on the fold. So I'm just kind of tracing. This is a quick way of doing it. If you already have a tube dress and it fits perfectly, and you don't really have to worry about your measurements unless you want it to be longer, because this tube dress should fit just like the existing one that you have after we're done tracing it. Okay, so now I have traced it. I'm completely done tracing that. As you can see, I'm going to use my magic marker so that you can see, and I am going to kind of trace over what I marked, because I'm taking it that I'm the only one that can actually see that marking. So now when I'm done, you should be able to see the marking also. So you can see the kind of shape we're going to have. It's almost like a figure 8. Almost, that's what I call it anyway. And then you want to do the same as we did on the back. We want to add 2 inches at the top. So you take your ruler and you mark 2 inches higher at the top. That's where we're going to turn it over, because this is the finish edge right there. This is the finish hem edge right here. So we know that we have to turn it over 2 inches. Okay. There you go. And that will straighten that up, and that's our I would probably add a little bit extra for my to sew, because I am going to sew on a serger. So I think the serger is definitely the best thing to sew on with a dress like this. However, you can also just do a straight stitch, which I'll also show that too, how to do the straight stitch. It's not a big deal, just do the straight stitch. But on this here, I am going to use a serger. I just think I love my ends to be finished. So anyway, we're done with our pattern piece. It's just time to cut out that dress now. Okay, so you want to cut your pattern piece out. Get rid of all that other paper. Unnecessary paper. Just like this. So you can see exactly what your pattern piece looks like. Try to keep it nice and straight. Not like I'm trying to bury here. So move all that excess baggage out the way. And then it's time for us to get a piece of fabric. This is the fabric that we're going to. This is the way you want your pattern piece to look. And so you want to make sure you do a quick pin on. Put a pin here and maybe a pin down here. You can put pins through here. And then we'll just get ready to cut that out. Let's cut that out, and then we'll do the back side. Now we have the front already cut out, ready to go. Now we're going to cut out the back side. So again, you want your garment, you want your pattern piece that says on the fold, this is your fold line. So you want your pattern piece to be on the fold line of the fabric. So this is the fold line right here. And then, yeah, I think we're just ready to cut that. You want to do a pin again at the bottom, pin at the top, and then you want to maybe put a couple of pins right along the side. And then we're just going to cut that back piece out now and put them together. So that's how it should look when you're done. Well, that's how your pattern piece should look anyway.